And welcome back. I'm Natalie MacDonald and you're watching Dukascopy TV. We continue to bring you the latest in FX analysis, and joining me now I have Roberto Falzoni of Dukre Assem Management for a currency overview. Roberto, thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Good morning. Nice to see you again, Natalie.
Thank you very much. Okay, so first on our currency list of the day, we are taking a look at the US dollar. Now, demand was up last week following that US jobs data. Does the dollar rebound story continue to be the headline of the year, as it were, in currency?
Let's say that, as you are saying, for the time being, it's still a story. It's not the reality. I mean, the dollar has been not particularly strong over the year. There are expectations that the dollar should get stronger and the euro get weaker, but for the time being, we didn't see that yet. I mean, the fundamental view on the US economy is improving, but the first quarter was relatively weak. It was weather related. The politic of the central bank has been slowly, less accommodative than in the past, but very slowly. And all the comments by the Fed official has been pretty dovish. So that created, that the expectation of higher interest rates, stronger economy, are moved far away in time. I expect that in the second part of the year to become more and more concrete. So as we can see, the last jobs data were pretty strong. Most of the economic indicators are stronger. Companies are doing very well. And of course, the Fed policy is going to the exit. So they are reducing the buying of treasury bonds. Still, they are the biggest buyer, the biggest holder. So this is weighing on the dollar. Technically, I think that it's very important to have a look technically. And as you can see, we have been in a pretty narrow range since the beginning of the year. So the dollar, especially against the euro, is moving in 2-3% range. But we are approaching, I think, an exit. You see this is a triangle, ascending triangle, and you see that support around the 134.70, 135 level are very important. And the trend line since the low at 120 back 2 years ago are coming around that level. So I expect myself to see the dollar maybe still in these months of July try to go a little bit higher, but then once we can break these 134.50, 135 levels, then start to accelerate and be stronger. And I expect also, of course, a stronger number out of the US. So I think that all these converging elements will bring finally a stronger dollar.
Well, we've got the euro dollar here. So if we take a look at its counterpart and focus on the euro for a moment, would you say that weak euro performance throughout this year has been relative to weak fundamentals really within Europe?
Let's say that also in this aspect, I mean, we've been talking about euro weakness, but we didn't really see a big euro weakness. It was weakness against certain currencies, for example, the British pound, some of the emerging market currency, but it was more a rebound because they've been very, very weak before. So I think that again, the fundamental picture of the euro is going to get worse and worse in the months to come and to the end of the year. First of all, I mean, economy numbers are deteriorating, especially in Germany. So I think that this is going to be putting more and more pressure on European Central Bank. Mr. Draghi was very clear. We got into negative interest rates, and they say that more measures are going to come. Politicians, particularly the French or the Italian, are now talking more and more aggressively against the euro. So I think that the euro is going to be capped. 138, maybe. I mean, I don't even think that we're going to go to 140 ever again. But so I think that all this pressure is going to continue on the euro. And of course, as the economy is weaker, other economies are getting stronger, and interest rates are so low, probably the euro could become the next funding currencies for whatever carry trades, and then start really to weaken. And my objective is at least to go back to 130 or even 128 by the end of the year or beginning of next year. So I would really stick with the euro short position.
Now, the next currency on our agenda, the Japanese yen. Big question, really. Do we care at the moment? Are investors interested in this story, particularly as dollar yen and Nikkei correlation is really deteriorating a lot further? What interest do we see here at the moment?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the correlation in between Nikkei and the yen is less important. I think that the Nikkei has been lagging all other markets from the beginning of the year, but we had already a very big run at the end of last year. And when the let's say the BOJ monetary policies get really, the big push, I think yen is always very important, and especially for euro, dollars, or other currencies, all the crosses against the yen are important, and that's why here I'm showing the euro yen, where you see, the channel has been for a strength of the euro against the yen, but in the last, again, since the beginning of the year, this has been flattened out. And I believe that the yen will still be weaker, but probably not as weak as in the past. But the Nikkei will outperform. So Nikkei will be one of the best markets, I think, to the end of the year.
Okay, so with all of this in mind then, what we've discussed, what is your buy-sell stance for the latter half of 2014 as we now enter Q3?
Yeah, I think that, again, I would stick with the policy of euro weakness overall, but main beneficiary, okay, probably the dollar a little bit, but mainly I would rather stick with the commodities currencies. So for example, British pound, I think British pound is pretty the stronger currency right now, but also Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, and maybe even some, let's say, emerging market currency. I'm showing here euro against Mexican peso. I think that we can easily go back to 17 in euro Mexican peso in the next few weeks. So whatever currencies, that has higher interest rates, that is more, commodity linked, is going to perform better. And probably also commodities like gold or silver in euro terms, these are the good trades to the end of the year.
Roberto, thank you so much for coming in. Lovely to see you again.
Always a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. That's all we've got time for right now, but for all of the latest in FX analysis and updates, do stay tuned to Dukascopy TV. Goodbye for now.